I don't think we realize what the Kansas City Chiefs just did. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Kansas City Chiefs named obvious choice to sign Bears' $42 million wide receiver. The Kansas City Chiefs general manager Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid are in Indianapolis for the NFL Scouting Combine. In addition to checking out the top prospective talent, they're preparing for free agency. In order to make a legit run at a Super Bowl three-peat, the Chiefs need to upgrade at wide receiver. Kansas City already parted ways with Marquez Valdes-Scantling, clearing approximately $12 million in cap space. According to a new report, Chicago Bears pending free agent Darnell Mooney is expected to land in Kansas City. The Chicago Tribune's Dan Wiederer posted on March 2nd, on a lower-profile note, some chatter in Indy from folks eager to see where WR Darnell Mooney lands in a week and a half. There's a small buzz on the possibility of Mooney having a resurgent 2024 at a great value price. Multiple people suggested KC. According to SpotRack.com, Mooney is predicted to earn a 4-year, $41.98 million contract. If the 26-year-old is willing to take a discount to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes, Veach could work something out. The Bears Wire's Brendan Sugrue posted, KC has always been the obvious choice. Part of me wonders what he would look like back in Chicago in a new offense with a likely new QB. But I'm sure that ship has sailed. Arrowhead Reports' Connor Christopherson wrote, "It's every wide receiver is going to KCSZN, though Mooney actually does make a lot of sense." When the Bears drafted Mooney in the 5th round of the 2020 NFL Draft, Matt Nagy was the head coach in Chicago. Nagy joined the Chiefs coaching staff in 2022 and was promoted to offensive coordinator last season. The Tulane alum's career best seasons were during Nagy's tenure as head coach. During his rookie season, Mooney caught 61 passes for 631 yards and 4 touchdowns. In 2021, he tallied 81 receptions for 1,055 yards and 4 touchdowns. Without Nagy, Mooney's stats plummeted. Over the past 2 seasons, the receiver recorded 71 catches for 907 yards and 3 touchdowns. After averaging 7.2 targets a game in his first 2 years, Mooney averaged 4.5 targets per game over the past 2 seasons. KC Sports Network's Matt Lane believes Mooney makes an easy fit into the Chiefs' offense. Logical move for the Chiefs if they don't want to hit up the top end of the FAWR market, Lane posted, and his 50-50 outside slot split plays into their scheme well. Speaking to reporters last month, Bears general manager Ryan Poles was cagey about keeping Mooney. "We'll evaluate the whole year, and like I told a lot of guys that are free agents, we'll be in contact with them in terms of our direction," Poles said. "There's different buckets. There's guys that are going to have to go test the market and see what's out there and maybe circle back. I know Mooney wishes he played a little bit better this year and things went better for him and made some more connections. But I know he's going to bounce back and have a really good career." Today's Lucas Hunt surmised, "Realistically, I don't see Mooney staying in Chicago. It's much more likely that he goes to a receiver-needy team where he can demonstrate that same dynamic route-running and catching ability that had Bears fans so enamored with him and get paid like a true WR2. The second story is Kansas City Chiefs respond to what they will do with Chris Jones this next free agency. The Kansas City Chiefs and defensive tackle Chris Jones remain in negotiations over a new contract, according to The Athletic's Diana Rossini. While Jones could hit free agency, there is optimism the Chiefs will retain him, Rossini reported. The Super Bowl champs are locked in on locking up their best player not named Patrick Mahomes. Before Kansas City's second straight Super Bowl title, it looked like the team was in danger of losing its second most valuable player behind Mahomes. Jones is a free agent and SpotRack values him at $28.4 million annually. The 2-time All-Pro is poised to become the second highest-paid interior defender behind the Los Angeles Rams' Aaron Donald and could plausibly join Donald in the $30 million club. Not unlike how they traded wide receiver Tyreek Hill when he started angling for a market-level extension, the Chiefs might feel priced out of a long-term pact with Jones. And they applied the franchise tag to cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, so that option is off the table. However, Jones made it explicitly clear during the team's Super Bowl parade he wants to take part in a three-peat bid. Those comments were probably music to the ears of head coach Andy Reid and general manager Brett Veach. Once the championship high wore off, Jones and his representatives probably assessed the situation a little more dispassionately, though. As much as he'd prefer to stay in Kansas City, the 29-year-old's value will probably never be higher than it is now. There's little reason not to at least see what other teams are prepared to offer. Chiefs fans will be heartened, for now the team appears to have a strong line of communication open with Jones. On Saturday, it was reported that the Kansas City Chiefs met with a tackle prospect during the 2024 NFL Combine. Per KPCR2's Aaron Wilson, the Chiefs had a chance to sit down with Houston tackle Patrick Paul. A Houston native, Paul committed locally in 2018 as a three-star recruit. As a freshman and sophomore, Paul played in 5 total games at left tackle for the Cougars and allowed 0 sacks. Paul became the starting left tackle his junior year, and since taking over the role, Paul has logged over 2,500 snaps. Paul is a fifth-year senior and has been credited with allowing only 5 sacks in his lengthy college career. Paul was named to the All-AAC team in 2021 and 2022 and was named a team captain in 2022 and 2023. Paul is an ideal physical specimen for a tackle with a reported 6'7", 315 lbs frame. Paul is currently our 41st ranked prospect on the Arrowhead Addict Big Board. Paul's combination of unteachable size, impressive resume, and experience will be enticing to any coaching staff. One of Paul's best assets is his consistency in pass protection. He regularly finds his pass set with no wasted movement. Paul moves fluidly up the arc and is able to stonewall any rusher looking to get inside. Once he gets his hands on you, the rep is over. His hand usage has also improved over his career. Paul is an average run blocker at best, as his biggest limitation is his athleticism. Paul is not going to be a weapon out in the open field in space. This also might make him vulnerable to speed rushers. Up to this point, he has been able to rely on the fact that he is bigger and stronger than 95% of the competition he's faced at Houston. At 24 years old, there's reason to question the physical upside of Paul as a prospect. There are lots of reasons to buy into his experience, size, and pass protection, but the ceiling as a prospect will likely have him as a day 2 prospect. The Chiefs are going to continue to struggle to find a left tackle in the draft as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. Quality tackle prospects just don't fall that late. While there are some rare instances of quality left tackles falling in the draft, it's just not common. The good news is that Paul has several traits the Chiefs prefer in their tackles: arm length, size, and pass protection. While he does have his flaws, it's fairly uncommon to find a tackle with this much experience at left tackle who can stay on the outside at the next level. A Patrick Paul versus Wanya Morris camp battle for left tackle feels like a fairly safe floor for the tackle position, not to mention the alleged possibility of Jawan Taylor playing left tackle as well. Physically, Paul looks and plays similarly to a familiar face: Orlando Brown. He's more smooth and athletic, but it's easy to see similar paths to success for Paul as Brown did in Kansas City. The value of having a starting left tackle on rookie money is something the Chiefs could use, especially with possible extensions for Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. The Chiefs are going to need to get more cost-effective on the offensive line. The third story is Nick Allegretti comments on free agency, possibility of returning to KC Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have plenty to sort out with the NFL's legal tampering period and free agency quickly approaching. Of course, the high-profile contract situations with defensive tackle Chris Jones and cornerback L'Jarius Sneed take priority. With that said, some unsung heroes are also deserving of new deals. Backup interior offensive lineman Nick Allegretti is one of them. He isn't hoping to be regarded as a reserve for much longer, though. Catching up with the Good Morning Football crew this week, the 27-year-old spoke about his free agency process. The Chiefs still appear to be in play for a return scenario, but Allegretti is looking for a starting job. "We're figuring that out as we go," Allegretti said. "I'm obviously allowed to talk with the Chiefs right now, and then the tampering window's coming up. It'll be interesting. It'll be a tough couple of weeks trying to make that decision because obviously I love Kansas City, but I'm definitely looking for a place to go, start, and make my name as a full-time starter. The best thing about football, for me, as an offensive lineman, is the option and the availability to go lead a group of men. That's one of my favorite parts about football, And the best way to do that is to be a starter day one. That's the opportunity I'm looking for. I want to go to an organization and have an impact as a player, but have an impact in that locker room as a leader. If Allegretti does end up getting a starting job, he's certainly earned it. The former 7th-round pick has displayed versatility along the offensive line during his career in Kansas City, coming into the league as a center but transitioning into a premier backup at guard. That progress was evident during the Chiefs' playoff run, as he stepped in for All-Pro Joe Thuney at left guard, and the offensive line continued playing well anyway. Allegretti is in the prime of his career, is consistent, has championship experience, and shouldn't cost a ton on the open market. That's appealing to prospective teams. Then again, Allegretti had a chance to test free agency an off-season ago,